I'm now about 7 days into this project, and finally a mate has turned up to give me a lift. So, no, we're not going to lift the top off because there are still some wires attached. Bugger it.
Take two.
Right, let's have another go. Oh, not as heavy as I expected. So we'll drop it here just for now. See what we've got on the chassis. The yard looks like a LandRover graveyard at the moment. I've got bits everywhere. I do need a tidy up. So the chassis is fairly crudded up, being a 48-year-old farm vehicle, but it's all okay. No actual corrosion, just a light surface rust over everything. Sandblaster will make short work of this, and then I'll paint it with some of that lovely Gilsonite paint, and it will be all good for another 50 years. We're ready to go. I've swept up LandRover Beach. LandRover Beach was originally 5 bags of sand that was used to sandblast everything else. I've managed to sweep up 3 bags of sand, and I've sieved it, got all the stones and twigs out, flakes of rust and bits of paint, and I'm ready to use it again. It'll be nowhere near as effective the second time around, although it's worth doing if you're on a budget. This is a high lift jack. It's a necessity when you've got a lifted 4-wheel drive. A standard automotive jack just won't do the job. So I'm lifting it up nice and high so I can get underneath. I'll take the wheels off and hit the sandblasting shortly. I'm just undoing a couple of brackets here that have tail light wiring attached to them. Don't want to sandblast the wiring. 50-year-old nuts and bolts are a little bit tight. I've sprayed them with WD-40. I've tried spanners. I've now got the vice grips onto them, but the problem is it's only got an old cheesehead flat screw on the top, and I just can't get the bite that I need to undo a rusty screw. So it looks like there's only one alternative. Here it is. Yeah. Splitting chisel and a really big hammer. Bang! That's it. Knock it out. Do the same on the other side. Here I am taking the grab handles off the back. Lord knows what these grab handles are for. There's no way that human beings could grab hold of these handles and lift or pull the vehicle out of any situation that it might be in. I really don't understand why LandRover fitted them. Perhaps somebody can wise me up in the comments down below. I'm intrigued. And here's another LandRover quirkery. Fabric straps holding the suspension in. Who'd have thought? I presume it's an attempt to stop too much tilt or cross articulation. But I'll take them off, lovingly clean them, and refit them after I've sandblasted and rust-proofed the chassis. I think the diffs at some time had a really heavy duty additive put in them, because the residue of the oil that's leaked out is like tar. It really is. I'm going to have to get in there with a scraper and have a second clean of the diff head, but everything else has come up rather well. I'm not using actual sandblasting garnet sand because it's so expensive. All I'm using is a sieved pavement sand that they put down between the cracks in concrete paving. It's a 2600 psi water blaster I've got that delivers about 8 litres per minute. So it's a medium duty, sort of a house washing one, bigger than your ordinary automotive handyman type of thing, and it's well capable of driving a sandblaster. Here's the sandblasting nozzle. As you can see, it feeds in by vacuum through a hose sand that comes from a bucket. The sand is dry until the moment it mixes with the water, and it gets chucked at the metal at high speed. Here we go, and takes off the paint and the rust. I'm using second-hand sand, so this time round it's nowhere near as effective as when I had virgin sand cleaning the front part of the chassis and front suspension. But I'm paying particular attention to the leaf springs because they've rusted quite heavily on the sides and they look bad. So give the springs a really good clean, and then with the weight off the vehicle so the springs are open, I'll spray inside with some Fisherline and give it a really good coat of Gilsonite, that non-hardening chassis paint. Beautiful.